So what we're going to do here tonight, I got Coach Kelly in. It's that time, y'all. We're transitioning. You want to figure out how the Razorbacks going to do in the second year under Coach Petrino's system. Taylen Green, the starting quarterback for the Razorbacks. Everybody wants to know, what can we expect from our guys? So now we watched a lot of tape on Taylen, especially from last year. We're going to show some clips today from two games, the Texas game and the Tennessee game, both teams that we play next year. Or sorry, this year. It's right around the corner. All right, let's go ahead and get into this tape. And these are clips that we saw from last year. And what we're going to do is we're going to show some what in the hell is happening moments. Sorry. And
there's too many of those.
Yeah. And then, sorry about that. We got kids over there. I apologize. Oh, yeah, they said, oh, he's fine. He's good. He knows. And we're also going to show some moments of like, wow, this dude can really play some football, highs and lows. But I think instinctively, Coach, we focus more on the issues because we want them fixed.
Right.
All right. And if we didn't think they could be fixed, we wouldn't even waste time even talking about them. I do believe everything we're going to talk about today is fixable. So this was one of the moments that happened last year that kind of had me questioning what was happening at the University of Arkansas football program. All right. This was a play against Louisiana Tech. You can see right here, they're going to sneak the tight end out of the line of scrimmage. It's kind of a setup sneak play. All right. And so Taylen Green is going to use his eyes. He's going to roll out to the left to try to get this safety to come with him. And that's exactly what happens. You talk about a perfectly drawn up play, and they sneak that tight end that you see highlighted in white out of the backfield, a complete misdirection type play right here. Just a second. Yeah. Look at my guy right here. Number 47. I don't know if he's caught a ball all year. So they saved him, right? And this should be an easy touchdown out of the gate. And what blows my mind right here, Coach Kelly, this is what this play is drawn up for that guy to be the number one option. Why is he not getting the football? Okay, it's not just me thinking it. As I press play, I zoom into the offensive lineman. He's pointing downfield to the receiver. That's why he even knows where the ball's supposed to go. All right, I've never seen anything like that in my life of watching game film. Even the offensive lineman, because, plays like this, they run all week. And they say, when this play gets called, it's going to be a touchdown. What happens in the mind of a quarterback right here?
First of all, you're right. Everybody on the team, because you've run this all week, thinks this is a touchdown play.
Yeah.
So you call it, everybody in the huddle's excited. There's like, we're fixing to go run down in the end zone. And what happens is, and man, you hope it doesn't happen, but some quarterbacks are just calm, cool, and collected all the time. Some quarterbacks panic in the face of adversity. That sounds easy. I think quarterbacking is the hardest job on the planet.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to know everybody's job, and you got 11 guys trying to kill you. You got to know where your guys are going to be. You got to throw it in a window this wide a lot of times. But when you get this kind of play, it has to be a touchdown.
Yeah.
But if you'll look, Taylen's getting some pressure. Right.
Go ahead and pull this up.
And so it's a tough time for a quarterback because he's got to roll left, completely turn, and throw it back across the field to his right deep. But this is the kind of play you got to go, I'm going to take one for the team.
Yeah.
Or if you're Taylen Green, sometimes he thinks he could escape and make the play anyway because the guy's so wide open. And I think that's what he does. He turns, sees that guy, instead of just firing it and taking one for the team, he tries to escape. He thinks I can escape, and next thing you know, it's too late, and he's got no shot.
Yeah. So that's one of the, what are we doing, Taylen Green type moments, okay? But like I said, this dude showed signs like this, and I think hopefully you grow from that. But I think that is set up for you on a platter to be successful. And then you get plays like this against Texas A&M. You get complete breakdown up front. You escape out of the pocket. Here's the wide view. You can see right here, escapes out of the pocket, does his thing, going against his throwing arm, throws a dime to Isaac Tesla. You see plays like that, and you're like, this dude should be a first-round talent. It's unreal.
Well, and that's what I was talking about before, the crazy inconsistencies, right?
Yeah.
We should have had a touchdown, and we got nothing. We should have been sacked, and we've got a big play off of it. And the inconsistencies are what kills you as a team. It's what gets you fired as a coach.
Yeah.
And probably maybe not should bring you $2 million as NIL guy. But, that's a whole nother deal.
That'd be nice.
But you got to be consistent and make those plays.
Yeah.
And those are great. If you keep some of those.
Yeah.
But just make the ones that are there, like the last one, man, you're going to be way better than we are.
And then you get plays like this. So that's breaking things down, improvising. He has that capability, and that's thing to be excited about. You
And
need
the
that.
ability for a guy like him that can run
Yes.
to stop and get his eyes back up.
Yeah.
That was
You see it
so
right here. Because
fantastic.
most quarterbacks would take off right here.
Now there's a ton of space.
Yeah.
And he's a run guy.
Open up your shoulders, deliver a perfect strike.
So nice. Squared his shoulders up, followed through.
That's big time.
Everything about it.
Then you have this play right here. This is against Mississippi State. And look at this window. I mean, you couldn't put it any more into that pocket. And that is I got a little ahead of myself right here. Let me go back real quick. Come on, Mississippi State, where you at? There it is. This play right here. This is to Jordan Anthony. And you get to a spot right here, and as we pause it, there's nowhere else you can put this ball. All right. It's funny because we're going to show another play like this where it doesn't work out for him.
Right.
There was a better option for him on this play, and I'm going to just wow, this keeps on going all the way back. I apologize about that. This is the first play, second play. We'll get there. I want to freeze it right here because I want y'all to see this. Look right here. Okay, you see this guy, even though he throws a touchdown on this play, you're going to see a receiver right here wide open because the corner fell off of him. We're going to show you a play here in a second to let you know why sometimes the highlight plays can sometimes not be the best thing for a quarterback moving forward because then they start taking unnecessary risk a little bit later. Still an unbelievable throw. You got to give credit where credit is due. All right, so, Coach, let's go ahead and get into the game film right now. This is against Texas, the team we play this year. On the road, it's going to be a tough task for the Razorbacks, but they played them well last year. They played them well, even though having so many mental mistakes. And this is your first play out of the gate, right? Take us through the process of a coach. I watch your thing on YouTube, and you have a lot of first threes, all right?
Mm-hmm.
I know in a Coach Petrino's offense, they have something called scheduled the first 8. It's the first 8 plays that are all scripted.
Mm-hmm.
You should know those without even looking at them because you've been running them all week.
Every team segment, that's what you run.
Yeah.
First 8, then you do something else.
Yeah, so this is the very first play of the game. Explain to us what do you see on this one? What's happening here?
This is, honestly, sadly, I was confused.
Yeah.
And what I mean is you're going to see the running back. You're going to see Dependent, I think it is. He's going to go to the left. It looks like the offensive line's running an outside zone left. And then you're going to see what looks like Taylen making a read, pulling the ball. And then you're going to see a little receiver flare out right here to the right. And that makes it look like it's a hitch pass possibility. You got 2 receivers on the bottom that are running go routes. So it looks like a pass down here. But look at the receiver up top. He's blocking like it's a run. So you would think it's an RPO, okay? But if it is an RPO, because the linemen aren't going downfield, that makes me think it's a pass play.
Yeah.
Usually on runs outside zone, they're going to get outside, and one of them is going to break and go get that linebacker 5-7 yards down the field. So there's a lot of things it could be. But again, it's real confusing because half the team's doing one thing and half the team's doing something else.
Yeah.
And when you watch Taylen right here, it looks right now he's making a read. You've got the vision for the possibility right there.
So I paused it right here, Coach. You said he's making a read. RPO, you make a read. Who's he looking at right here?
I was guessing he was reading this backside linebacker.
Right here?
We're going to block the front side linebacker with the left guard.
Okay. So that's where we're going.
He's reading the backside. He should be reading backside linebacker to see if he's going to pull it or not.
Okay.
Backside linebacker kind of slow plays it a little bit if you watch the tape a little bit right there. But he does commit down. So Taylen pulls the football. Now, the only thing he can do at that point, he cannot throw the ball downfield.
Correct.
Because the receiver up top is going to be blocking.
Yep.
Okay. So now he's got 2 choices. He can run it or he can flip it out to the receiver on the hitch on the bottom of the numbers on the 20, number 6.
Yep.
Okay. That's the only 2 things he can do right now.
Okay.
And he decides to, but the problem was his lineman over there hinge blocked.
Yeah.
And so they let the guy through instead of square up blocking. He had no time. He had to run outside.
Yeah, he's essentially running to the place where his offensive linemen were trying to get the defenders to go.
Right.
So that's kind of hard for us to wrap our mind around. You got a receiver up top blocking down the field. So you can't throw the ball, but then you have 2 receivers down at the bottom running routes as if they want to catch the ball.
Right.
I'm assuming it looks like they're trying to run people off. I would hope so, but if you look at Lucas, he's looking back. Now, what throws me off is...
let's make this point, too.
Yeah.
The reason that he's probably not having them run off is they're in zone. You don't run guys off in zone coverage. You run them off in man.
So they're running routes.
Run them off, they're running routes.
They're running routes. And then it throws me off because you got Rashad Dubinion, who we have highlighted right now. He's running down the field.
Right there, I thought he was running a route until he does that.
And now he's blocking 12 yards downfield.
This is the WTF play.
All right, so this is what's interesting. All right, so we get into a situation where everything is falling apart. I played with Coach Fortino for 3 years. This ain't a play call. All right, there was miscommunication. In a year two, Taylen Green, do we get less of these things to pop up? You know, is he going to have the maturity to make sure that everybody's on the same page before they break the huddle?
He has to.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think he will. I mean, second year in a system, quarterbacks are a lot better. But hopefully the maturity. The problem is going to be and we'll see something later on that makes me think maybe we don't.
Mm-hmm.
But we certainly should. In year two, you should always be better. That year of experience, there's nothing like it. But the communication at some points, and some of the times he himself is the only one that's wrong on a play, makes me wonder if he understands the concepts of the play.
Yeah, we'll dig more into that here in a second. And once again, if you have questions for Coach Kelly, now's the time to ask. And if you're here, if you have a question for Coach Kelly about Taylen Green, you can always step up to the mic and we'll put you on the camera. You get to see some people right now are chiming in, and they're saying in regards to Taylen Green, he has the brains. He's shown moments of yes, and he's shown moments of no. Give him a chance this year. It's not overnight or a single-year system. I say that DJ and all the Hogs he's had on here have said the same thing when it comes to progress, and I agree. And this leads us to another point. For Taylen, it's year two. For almost everyone else, it's year one again because of the transfer portal. You got a whole new team. I was asking Miss Donna, who's your favorite player this year? She was like, I only know one guy. You know, besides that, it's a whole new team. You know, is that also not stressful as a coach, needing to teach them all over again every single year?
I think it's the most unfun part of today's college game, right? Yeah. Because they're transferring and you want to give them a good base. You may even hold some plays back.
Yeah.
That first year for certain groups of guys. And the second year you want to be all in, but now you're back to for year one again. But I do think with Taylen coming back and his understanding, what you're hoping as a coach, and I rely on it with my second year quarterbacks in the system once they've started that first year, is they can be a true coach on the field in practices and games. And now you're tag teaming these guys and getting them a little further advanced in the system.
Here, your favorite formation. I don't know if y'all know Coach Kelly. Empty, nobody in the backfield. Everybody run downfield. There's going to be some great route combinations. What do we got on this one?
This is a real easy one. If you look up, they've got one guy deep, one high safety. There's only one guy guarding deep. Everybody else is underneath. And so the automatic thing to run against that is what we call seam routes. So if you look the guy on the inside on the top, you've got him drawn up, running right down the hash. That's a seam. And then the inside receiver on the bottom, he's running straight up the field. That's a seam. Look, there's only one guy deep, and he's got to guard both those guys. Okay, so just to put it in layman's term, that safety standing on the hog has to guard both those deep routes. So what you should have your quarterback do, what I have my quarterbacks do, we automatically go to the same play. If you start off before the ball snaps, it's called a pre-snap read, and that guy is whichever one the safety is closest to, we're throwing to the other guy.
Yeah.
We're going to say, set hut, look the safety off.
He's definitely shaded more to the right.
Yeah, he's only 2 yards or 3 yards inside the hash where that safety's lined up. Look how far he is away from the bottom guy running the seam route.
Yeah, much further.
Much further. He's got a lot of ground to cover. So we're making him have to cover more territory, and we're going to have the ball to him before that. So what you do to help it, you stare at your receiver on the left because the safety's already over there. He wants to go to that guy. Stare at him. He's going to take 2 more steps, and your boy's going to be wide open on the bottom.
So as you play right here, you can kind of see it develop.
Stop it right there.
Once again, that's your shot.
That's your shot.
Yeah.
And Taylen's looking left the whole way. So I thought when I started watching the play for the first time, I'm like, what a great job looking off that safety. Yeah. And the safety he's over there, baby.
Yeah.
And there's nobody over here.
This is a situation, we talk about this a lot during the season, like use your eyes as a quarterback to manipulate the defense.
Absolutely.
And Taylen put it enough on tape where sometimes he was bad with his eyes. Yeah. Now, he did get better as the season progressed, but he's taken the party over there. So this would be the perfect way, and then last minute snap your eyes and throw it to Satania. Give him
which if you talk about the great quarterbacks, I mean, even you go Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, they were better at it than anybody. Now, you don't have to be that good.
Yeah.
But even guys that are in the NFL that are good runner, Lamar Jackson, he's fantastic. And that's what Taylen kind of reminds me of is Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
But Lamar Jackson's great at this too. If you want to be good at quarterback in the SEC, you better be able to manipulate with your eyes like you said.
Hell, Aaron Rodgers didn't look at me half the time he threw the ball to me.
Yeah, right.
It's unreal. I've never seen anything like it in my life. One time he hit me in the face mask. I was like, what? He did it on
I
purpose.
didn't know it's coming.
But then this happens. Everybody remembers this play against Texas. Talk about sucking the wind out of that stadium and the excitement. And this is where, you talk about, once again, progression. All right, so if we're going to do this, let's at least give yourself the best chance in throwing a high-risk ball when you don't have to. And I know what people are going to say. Broden had brick hands. Last year he did. All right. Let's call a spade a spade. All right. And this should have been a catch, but I don't think it was the right read. You talk about, took a little one too many hitches, but then you look at the situation. 2nd and 1, you're playing against Texas. You got momentum going. You got them off the scoreboard. Take what the defense gives you, right?
Yeah, and you're the guy you've got in red. That's number 2 on the. If you're going to do a progression, that's number 2.
Yeah.
And that's an easy C, that progression. Again, it sounds like we're just cracking on Taylen, but you've got to be better than this. You can throw it in the middle of 3 guys, or you can throw it out there. How many yards does a guy in red out there make?
God, I mean, after the catch,
Yeah,
he gets maybe up to the 45, 40, on the opposite side.
On the opposite side.
Yeah,
I mean,
on the
he's going to
opposite
make
side.
15 yards on 2nd and 1.
Yeah.
And it's a sure 15.
Positive 15.
Yeah.
And so this happens. You remember, first of all, number 7 for Texas was a dog. He was really good. But you get in this situation, and this is where you got to catch this ball, right? Right in the hands. I don't agree necessarily with the read, but still at the end of the day,
catch it. Yeah.
You still got to catch it. Oh, Lord.
You're in the SEC playing for the University of Arkansas. You got to catch that ball 10 out of 10 times.
That's hearing footsteps.
That is hearing footsteps.
That's hearing footsteps.
I'm fixing your crack in the back.
I'll tell you this right now. My wise guys ain't worried about this. They'll catch this while running into a wall. All right? You should see this stuff, Coach Kelly. It's insane. My dude catches balls and gets knocked out all over the place. It's insane. All right.
They've learned to catch the ball in confined areas.
It's unreal.
They have to.
That could be a good spring training for teams like this. Put them in an arena and let them catch balls towards the boundary.
That is a good one.
I know you probably do something crazy like that.
We actually put we put boundaries on the hashes and play inside the hashes.
That's
sometimes.
Amazing. Phenomenal. All right, let's keep it rolling. Rough day for the Hogs right there. But once again, Texas, they convert points on this one. And here's another situation where it kind of gets down to decision making, where sometimes, yes, the play is called and designed right here to go to Isaiah Satania, but sometimes experience should take over of being like, all right, it's 3rd and 3. Let me just do what I need to do to keep the chains rolling. That's what happens right here. Satania comes behind the line of scrimmage. There's going to be a great block. You can see it wants another RPO, so he's reading that guy, and he gets it to Isaiah. But at this point, number 7, who showed up again, was all over this. Now, I will say this. I love Coach Petrino, and I'm hoping he's not watching this, but I will say I'm not a fan of the play design of putting your smallest receiver front side trying to block one of the bigger and best DBs of all of college football. I don't think that's the right move. You have to be aware of your personnel. Sorry, Coach.
Let me say this from his side. And, man, when you're calling plays and formations, and some plays go with different formations, and it's not just this play goes with this formation, it's easy to get locked in on the play and flop the sides.
Yeah.
And that's probably what happened right here, because there's no way he wanted to put Satania out there as the lead blocker on this
That's
play.
Jordan Anthony.
That's Jordan Anthony.
He's fast now. Don't get it wrong.
Right.
He's fast, but he's a little light in the draws. All right. But the thing is, this is 2. When you see it, just look at this angle right here. Okay, yes, if you get the ball out sooner, then maybe Isaiah Satania turns this up. But once again, look at Taylen. He sees all this developing in front of his eyes. You would hope a year 2 Taylen Green would say, you know what? Let me just go ahead and do my thing right here. I'm extremely dangerous with my legs. And you see this lane open up. Look at it from this side. Once again, y'all, this is against Texas.
I don't think Taylen Green's supposed to take that ball and go to the right.
Are you sure about that?
I think he's supposed to read it and
stay in the pocket
and run right through. Either take it and run there,
okay,
or take it and flip it out.
Interesting,
but not run and flip it out.
Oh no, yeah, I agree.
One of the two.
But
when he runs, he gets it out too late because he takes 3 steps before he throws the ball.
Agreed.
If he takes it, make his decision, and flip it out, I think we got a big play.
And if he does that, imagine Isaiah Satania one-on-one with that safety right there with all that space.
Yeah,
that's a touchdown.
That's a touchdown.
Even if Taylen wants to run it, maybe a touchdown. I'm going to show you all a few things that should have been touchdowns against this Texas game. And this was as interesting. Coach Petrino, the sideline reporter during the game, said, Coach Petrino did ask Taylen, why didn't you just run the damn ball? Ooh, sorry, we got kids in here. Apologize about that. But let's go ahead and keep this thing rolling.
Well, with Coach Petrino quotes, it's going to be a few bad words.
A few here or there, right? All right, here's another play right here where this is product of needing to be poised. I think he struggles with poise, but also in Taylen Green's defense, his offensive line did not allow him to create any confidence. And so you see right here, this is a deep crossing scheme. You're going to see plenty times when he had an opportunity to get this ball to Andrew Armstrong, but he gets out of the pocket. The right tackle and tight end, they get a holding call. And once again, we're at a situation where we're trying to get in field goal range or scoring range. All right, but we'll talk about that here in a second. Now, Coach Kelly, when I see stuff like this, once again, I really do think Jaquindon Jackson, he struggled up top a lot because this isn't the first time I've seen him make some mental errors on small stuff like this. Oklahoma State game, y'all remember that one as Razorback fans? We should have won on the road. Awful, right? They ran a screenplay to Jaquindon Jackson, running back screen. Offensive lineman released downfield. It was beautiful. All the defensive linemen rushed upfield. Taylen was ready to dump it off to Jaquindon. He was backside cut blocking somebody. And he was the number one option on the screenplay.
Right.
It's called for you.
Yeah.
And so you see right here, miscommunication, a little run play action. Jaquindon runs to the wrong side. Taylen's faking it to nobody. And then you get this situation right here. He's looking at Andrew Armstrong right here. And you said there's multiple windows where he can throw this to Armstrong. You got one window right there. Sorry, ESPN wrote all these yellow lines on there. And then you see Taylen eyeing this guy in no man's land, and we keep going. And then you get another window where he can throw it over the top, but he gets out of the pocket. Now, as we run this back, explain to me, Coach, could you ask your offensive line to do any better right here?
No, and that's what you've got to do as a quarterback, and that's the hard part. But that's why you're the big bucks guy. That's why you're this, because you've got to stand in there and make the plays when they allow you to throw the pocket. Now, you'll see quarterbacks have trouble when they get hit a lot. Their clock speeds up. And they're like, I don't have 3.5 seconds. I got 2.2 seconds.
Yeah.
And they're going to roll. But when you've got this kind of time, that's when you've got to make this kind of big play. And he knows on this play, just like that play earlier, you said they've run it every day in practice. Everybody knows it's going to be a touchdown. Every time they call this play, the offensive line knows they got to block longer because this is a long developing play. But they knew what it was. They knew, everybody knows. And Taylen Green knows I got to stand in there longer too.
Yeah.
And with that pocket, that's what mystifies me, is that he knows before he starts this play, I got to stand in there.
Yeah.
And now he's got all kinds of time, and you got yourself possible touchdown, and he leaves. And then he always escapes right.
Goes
so
right.
Everybody knows that.
And look what happens. You see great block, but when this happens, as a guy who used to block, I used to hate this.
Yeah.
Now, luckily, Ryan Mallett was slow as molasses, so I didn't have to run. I didn't have to run into this a lot. And so, but as soon as he gets outside, you get a hold. There goes the flag. You're moving on Texas, and then you get a 10-yard penalty. It just kills the momentum. All right, let's keep it rolling right here. This is going to be a 1st and 10 situation, and we get into the whole progression thing again. This is going to be it's going to be mirrored routes on the bottom, but we'll focus up top. You got Luke has a tight end running about a 5 to 6 yard out route. He's going to curl it up because he understands the coverage, and he's going to sit in the hole. Then you got the outside little 6 to 7 yard stop route, okay? And this is where we kind of get into progression once again. And Taylen needs to understand in pre-snap, if he just opens his eyes, he should see how these plays develop. It makes the easy throw. But you see right here, he takes it on the outside. Now, one thing I also want to note, too, when you look at these receivers, you got an experienced Andrew Armstrong. I'm not sure who that is up top. I'm sorry. I apologize. No disrespect meant.
Yeah.
Armstrong's already broke down. I think this receiver up top is taking it too deep at the same time. I think he pushed it to maybe 8 to 9 yards. Or, sorry, he pushed it to maybe 7 to 8 when it should have been 6 to 7. Mm-hmm. And now, if you don't think a yard matters in the SEC, you're crazy.
Yeah.
Somebody put it in the comments right here. It couldn't have been a more perfect comment. This is from Hog Blitz. He says, Petrino's offense relies heavily on timing routes. The ball is in the air before the cut. Do you think Taylen needs to improve dramatically? One, yes, but so do the receivers.
Yeah.
This receiver, he went a yard too deep, and it threw off the timing. However, I still don't think that's the right call or the right ball. I think this one should have went to Lucas, right? Look at him right here. What goes into a thought process right here?
And if you could take it back to the beginning,
yeah,
the defense is giving the play away to start the play.
Yeah.
When
sorry.
when this look up that linebacker that drops right there that looks like the defensive end right now.
Yeah, right there.
He's walked up, so Taylen's first thing is going to be that guy's walked up. Who's going to guard the out?
Right.
So your first progression is I'm throwing the out.
Yeah.
And then when that guy takes off running outside, you're still throwing the out.
Yeah.
There is no way he shouldn't throw the out here.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, let's say he messes up, gets confused. The play's developing and he sees that guy running out. He's going to be the out's still going to be open, and you're going to have two guys trying to cover the stop route that he threw it to.
Yeah.
And then, and that's a further throw. My rule is for my quarterbacks, if you're not sure, throw it to the closest guy.
Yeah.
Ball's not in the air as long, easier to be extremely accurate, not behind, not bad, because it's a 5-yard throw. So the play should have gone 1 to Hawes, 2 to the stop route.
If Justin Aker is here, he would say has, but he doesn't play anymore since he went to Old Miss. All right.
Yeah.
Still like him though.
After watching this, and I saw Has do some things that I was disappointed in.
Yeah.
I was glad he's gone to Ole Miss. At first, I was sad.
Yeah.
Now I'm glad he's gone to Ole Miss.
I still like him.
He catches the ball, but he doesn't always run where he's supposed to. And in the blocking game, he let us down. I watched more of this, and I'm just like,
He also had like a bad back too,
Okay, then listen, you can play.
Excuses?
You can play or you can not play.
I'm being biased because I like him. All right.
I liked him.
I can't be fair.
I just want you to get after it.
I
He just left guys standing
There's
there.
a few times I did tell Luke, you can't let that dude hold you on that. You got to get open. I'm sure he'll figure it out at Ole Miss.
For 900,000, he ought to.
God, isn't that nice, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's keep this moving. As we said, once again, a little too deep on that. You'd like to see the ball go there. Ball gets out a little late, but I still think, once again, that receiver took that a little too deep, and yards matter. Here's your favorite play, Coach. Fade to the outside.
Oh, my gosh. Everybody that likes to see go balls or fade routes, just guys run straight down the sideline.
Yeah.
You're all wrong.
It's the fun play, Coach. It makes everybody say, ooh and ah.
It's the dumbest, most non-analytical play of football. The greatest fade route receiver in the history of the NFL was Calvin Johnson.
Okay, he's pretty solid.
Calvin Johnson played for the Lions, monster, 6'5", 4'3". Megatron.
Yeah.
He was 18% catching fade routes.
Whew.
I don't want to run a play when you go, what's the success rate of this play? It's 18%.
Yeah.
I'm not running it. And that's the greatest ever.
Yeah.
On average, it's 10 in college.
Yeah.
Now, we make this one work, and it looks beautiful, and everybody's like, it takes good blocking, a perfect throw, and a receiver that's willing to get his body and pin the defender and make it perfect. And you end up showing 2 fade routes.
Yeah.
Well, in the film I had,
and
you showed the one that worked, so now everybody's still on the fade route train.
Yeah.
And you probably don't show the one that doesn't work.
Coach, I got it for you.
Okay.
For you.
Worst play in football.
Okay. And then you get a situation like this where, once again, his safety net is Andrew Armstrong. And he does sometimes make some big-time plays. But safe option here is Isaiah Satania. Get the ball out, move on, go to the next
100%.
However,
and when that guy was playing off, when the safety's the guy on him, you're throwing it to Satania.
Yes,
that's
time.
the throw. But
it's easy.
But most teams, 75% of all teams probably, if a guy's walked up playing press man, they're throwing the fade.
Yeah, and I'll say this too. A guy like this, it's a quick 5-yard route. But if you get it to him fast enough,
he's got 7 yards of space.
If he makes one guy miss, there's no telling what'll happen.
Rolling.
But we throw the fade. All right, we're going deep. And then this happens, And so, incredible play. And you said, in order for this to happen, so much needs to go right.
Right there, when the ball gets there, that's not going to be caught every time. Even a perfect throw, the guy's arm's in there. He makes a great catch. You throw this ball to him 10 times. Number one, 7 other throws aren't going to be this perfect.
Yeah.
And the other 3 aren't going to be caught.
Okay.
I mean, one of them will, and this is the one. But, man, we can't waste any plays. You've seen the other wasted plays when they shouldn't have been wasted.
All right, let's keep it rolling. All right, so still same drive. We were able to get half of that back, and then you have a play. Now, coaches, this is probably your worst nightmare. When you draw up a touchdown.
Yeah.
This was a touchdown. Arkansas will take the lead in the 4th quarter against Texas. This is the play call. All right, you couldn't ask for it any better than this. And then you have a mental breakdown. Now, where it comes from, we'll talk about that here in a second, but let's go ahead and roll through this play.
Watch the beautiful rubs by the 2 outside guys.
You see the receivers on the outside. They're going to run these rubs, and you see that guy circled in red? He has the running back in man-to-man coverage. They're going to create so much traffic that
He can't guard him from. Boom,
look at that.
Rub.
Jaquindon Jackson comes out. You'll see it from a different angle. Should have been a touchdown. However, there's an issue up front. Okay. And this is where we talked about pre-snap read. Right now, Texas is showing the potential, not saying they will, they shouldn't. They're showing the potential of 7 potential guys who could all bring pressure. You have to know something is up.
And to further the percentage chance that they're going to bring more than you can block, they're in cover 0.
Yeah.
They've got their safeties walked down, nobody deep. So they're telling you, hey, we're coming, man, and we're bringing it.
Yeah, we're coming. So this is where I'm hoping in a year 2 system. This is tough. And, we talk about where we are. I don't even put this on Taylen. Now, would a more experienced quarterback, knowing that he has an offensive line that struggles, does he say, easy, easy? Are we good? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pressure's coming. You don't want a quarterback to have to do that when it's so simple. But look at this A gap. You see this right here with my mouse?
You're not good, though, because they're showing 6 for sure, maybe 7. And on this play, you got 5 receivers going out. They've got one more guy than you can possibly block.
Yeah.
And you've got to throw a slow developing long pass play down the field.
Yeah.
You've got no chance.
If it were me, depending on how well I can make a check, I'm going to make sure if pressure comes from somewhere, it'll give me the most time to try to get the ball out.
It ain't going to come from A-gap if it's me.
It ain't going to come from the A-gap,
yeah.
Right? And so here, as we play this, look at this.
It comes from A-gap.
They let a guy run right through the middle of the line of scrimmage.
That's the closest guy to the quarterback. Oh, and by the way, that's the fastest guy that was lined up on the line.
Yeah.
If that's not your tackle that's lined up right there.
If they're going to bring more than you can block, it needs to come from the outside.
It has to come. It gives Taylen a chance.
And so I think this is more on the center because if you look at the offensive lineman, you have slide protection on the backside. They were going out to that stand-up defensive end. And so the center, I think, just went the wrong way on this.
Yeah.
And gave up.
But he did that several times this year. So I don't know if it's designed or if it's him.
Yeah. And then once again, you can see if he gets that ball out, it's a touchdown to Jaquindon Jackson. And that one hurt right there because you had the number 3 team in the country in your own backyard against the ropes, and you can't make it happen. That's too much of an ask for Taylen Green to make that throw. Another team we're playing this year, good old Tennessee, okay? And I told you about my boy, and you see what's happening right here. We talked about the speed option. And this is cool because Taylen Green is doing this on his own.
Yeah.
He sees what's happening, and he's trying to get to a speed option. What is he looking at?
This is the best thing that I saw him do in the run game right here. He recognized the defense. Look at the overload on the left side. Okay?
Yeah.
On the bottom of the picture down there, you got stand up, DN down, guy on this side. You got 4 guys on this side of the ball. He looks up, sees a little space up there. He's like, oh, God, this is easy. And this is a great play for this. He's got, hey, speed option.
Yeah.
We got numbers, and the one guy we're going to leave, I'll make him commit to me, I'll pitch it out, and we'll be rolling.
Yeah. So perfect setup on
perfect
this one.
Setup.
Yeah, perfect setup.
Great play call. Great play call.
That's a great by Taylen Green, making that check in live time and live action. You see right here, you get these 2 guys out, and you pitch off the guy. But then it kind of just gets a little crammed up. The spacing's not there. Explain this to me, Coach. All right, so when you look at – here, I'm going to bring up another point. My guy right here. Why is he – speed option, what are we doing as a running back?
He's supposed to go.
He's supposed to what?
Supposed to go. No false steps, no anything. He's going to go right.
So right
he's
now –
going to go. Get some space between him and Taylen Green.
Like I said, you need Jaquindon.
Why he takes his counter step left, I'll never know.
He needs to be going 1,000 miles an hour. He doesn't know what's going on. There's no excuse to make this counter step right there. And I zoom it up here in a second. How do you, as a coach, because this pops up a lot with Jaquindon Jackson, okay? I just don't get it. You take this right here, counter step in the wrong direction. How many times on a coach do you give a guy a pass for not knowing what to do, no matter how good he is?
Yeah, I mean, there comes a time where it doesn't matter how good he is. If he's costing you on the field, he can't make up for that no matter how good he is.
And this is a guy that does very well for the Razorbacks. There's just a few mental mistakes here or there.
If you look in my office, and you'll see the number one thing about being a great football player isn't hustle, going 100 miles an hour. It's knowing your job.
Yeah.
Because if you don't know your job, like if you're the left offensive tackle and you can blindside somebody like they do in the movie and block them up the stands, but you block the wrong guy and leave your guy unblocked, It doesn't matter how good you are if you don't know your job. It doesn't matter how good a tailback you are. If you don't know your job and you mess up the play, and this play's a mess up,
Yeah.
partially by him, then by Taylen too.
Yeah.
The play's not going to work.
No.
And so, you look and you go, one time, shame on you. Two times, shame on me. Three times, I'm an idiot. So you get two of them, and it's over with. He's had two this game.
Somebody just asked, and we kind of just showed that right here. Does Petrino let Taylen Green change the play at the line of scrimmage?
Did on this one.
That's what it looked like. That's pretty big, and that'd be good for the Razorbacks moving forward. All right, let's go ahead. Speaking of moving forward, Coach, I'll tell you.
Right there, Taylen's got to get closer and make that guy commit and then pitch the ball out.
Agreed.
Stopping right there, that guy, again, can guard both guys, just like on the other reads he makes.
Your fade play, one of your favorites, right? But it's set up with the out route, and once again, percentage on this play, 18%.
No, that's good for Calvin Johnson.
For Calvin Johnson.
It's between 10 and 14 in all other levels.
And so once again, you get into a situation. Once again, you would like Taylen to go ahead and make the smart play right here. You have the out wide open. It's 2nd and 5. It's first quarter. You're only up 3. You need to get some momentum going. But even then, Coach, it was a good ball.
It was a good ball. That's my point. You're playing to my point.
Yeah,
it's a good ball. We still don't catch it.
You couldn't ask for a better ball right there.
But that's what you've got to have. Everything has to be perfect on those.
It's a back shoulder ball. Even though we like Tesla, I think if Tesla would have had another year, he may have transferred as many times as he was open and he didn't get the ball.
He didn't get the ball.
But you see right here, back shoulder. AD, you catching this? Ooh, that's perfect. But once again, a very low percentage.
The low percentage catch. I mean, you might have a guy's hand in your face mask. It might be in your pants. I mean, you don't know where the thing's going to be. And you got to come down with that ball falling on your back. I mean, it's just a tough catch.
I wanted to show that play because Taylen has the ability to make those throws.
He does.
If you dial him up mentally to be on every single snap of the ball, he could be extremely dangerous. We still got some work to do. Coach, here we go. 4th and 1. You got to have it.
This is the second worst play of the year.
The whole year?
The whole year.
What's going on here? What are we drawing up?
All right, so what you've got is, if you look at the two receivers up top, okay, you got the one off the line, you got him. What they're going to do is they're going to rub and run the routes, little rub and runs, okay? Your back is your little up back right there, you circled in red. He's going to do, and this is I love this. He's going to give up, and remember how we said that Hawes was faking those blocks and going to the next guy?
Yeah.
When you do that, guys guarding, you take your eyes off and think, oh, he's blocking. He's not going out. I'm not going to guard him.
Yeah.
And then you take off and you bought yourself a wide open pass.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to fake the block. They're rubbing his guy and he's faking the block and he's going to leak right out there in the flat. The outside guy's going to take that corner deep and you got nothing but space out there. That is one. In this play, the other two guys aren't even options.
They're not.
They're not options.
You got one option here.
Kansas City runs this play on 3rd and 4th and 1. The Chiefs do.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful, and I bet it works 85, 90% of the time.
Uh-huh.
And we run it, and it works. Wait, let me take this back. It should work.
Okay, fair.
100% of the time.
Fair.
If it looks like this.
Yeah. So you're offensive coordinator in the booth, and you dial this up. It's a first down.
Yeah. Oh,
no telling what
they couldn't have lined up any better.
Yeah.
That corner playing off, it's over.
Okay, so
over.
Then you get here, and
Stop
then
it. It looks like you're looking right at him.
He's looking right at him.
Throw the ball. And if you go a little bit further forward, he's even more open. It's unbelievable. And then watch him. He glances out. That's your first guy. If he's remotely open, you throw him the football.
Yeah.
And then this is what drives me. He stops. He's looking. Look, the dude's open. And now you're looking back in the middle of the field.
He's looking
on 4th and 1.
What are we doing, all right? All right, I'm going to tell you what happens, all right? So you come to the sideline, and then you see a red-faced Coach Petrino, all right? And did he ask you, what are you thinking? What does Taylen Green say right here?
I think Taylen Green did not know it was 4th down. I think he thought it was 3rd and 1. Oof. I really do. And I think if you watch the play, he wants to throw a throwback across the field over here. Is that Armstrong coming across?
Yeah.
That's his boy.
That's his guy.
That's his boy. I really think he must think it's 3rd and 1 because there's no way you don't throw that ball on 4th and 1. You take the first thing they give you.
This is what it's drawn up to do.
That's it, 100%. That he threw that. If they ran this play 20 times in practice this week,
Yeah,
he threw it to him 20 times.
100%. Because if he
100%.
didn't,
Oh, he did. He got that butt shoot.
all right. So we keep it moving right here. 4th and 1, and then you still catch it, but knee is down. Y'all know the rules, okay? So we'll go ahead and move forward.
We get no first down.
No
we
first
turn
down.
over our own downs. Right
Turn
there.
it over.
We had an easy one.
We find ourselves in another 4th and 1 situation.
Oh my gosh. Okay. You didn't show. They showed the receiver was lined up on the number 2.
Yeah.
Okay. He goes in motion inside and then comes right back. That's a return route.
Uh-huh.
I call it sometimes idiot motion because it looks like an idiot going in, come back out. But the corner, and what Petrino did is he found something on film. When they go man to man, they're in press man, but you put the guy in motion. He plays off. He goes off. Well, if he goes off, now all you got to do is run across the line and get the quick throw. The beauty of it is the ball's on this hash.
Yeah.
That makes it an even shorter throw. The ball's not in the air very long. It's easy to be accurate. The D-back doesn't have as much time. It's a one-man route. All the other 10 guys
don't matter.
Are not even going out for a pass.
Yeah.
Nobody else is going out. You have to throw this ball. So Petrino learned from the last 4th and 1 and goes like, if I gave him 3 options, he didn't throw it to the one he should have. I'm not giving him but one option. You got one.
You get one option.
You got no excuse.
All right, so let's go ahead and play the play.
And here we go.
All right, you see, once again, he's there.
He's looking at him. Now, my problem is part of coaching wise. He's got the football down at his waist.
Yeah.
You never want that. But that aside, that's his dude. Nobody else. There's no other possibility.
The guy covering him is back here. You can barely see him. That's an easy first down.
Easy, and it's short side. It's literally a 7-yard throw from where Taylen's standing.
So what is he looking at? Oh, wait, let me go back.
He forgets there's only one guy.
What is he looking at now?
Now he's looking to see another receiver.
There's no one out there.
I know. And that's what causes the hesitation and the almost making of a first down.
All right. And
almost.
I know we're showing these clips. All right. That's our last clip. All right. And thanks for going through that film with me. Now, that didn't sound too optimistic. All right. But that's why we're here. All right. Because all these things that happen, I do believe Taylen is capable of being better. It's just about how much better. And you as a coach, because, there was things last year. Is Singleton going to get a shot? Yeah. Are these other guys going to get a shot? But they are so adamant on Taylen Green. You have to think that he's showing stuff that makes Coach Petrino, out of all people, know that this is my guy moving forward. So offseason, what needed to happen for him to get these mistakes cut down?
Well, number one, Petrino committing to him that he's your guy.
Yeah.
And he is. I mean, you can't play him all last year and then start all over this year.
No.
I mean, you're too invested in him. And I do think he'll get better. I think that's a play he's going to make this year. Those last 2 plays, he's making those this year. He's throwing the football. He's confident. He learns it. He knows he's got to throw that football. He makes those. And Petrino will beat him in the head with, when it's 4th down or 3rd down in a crucial moment, take what they give you for sure. We're not going to make a big play down the field. And the other thing is, I think, everybody wants to please people down deep. Some people act like they don't. I don't care what anybody thinks. You care what 100,000 Arkansas fans think. And in the offseason, he had plenty of time to go back, soul search, watch the film, and go, this is me.
Yeah.
This is on me. And the sooner a man starts to believe it's on me, the sooner they start fixing things. I think he'll be much better this year.
Yep.
And I hope they eliminate some of the plays he's not good at. I mean, don't throw a bunch of read plays at a guy that's not good at the read plays.
Yeah.
That'd be like asking, Luke has to go beat their corner on go routes every play. He's not a feature guy on a go route.
That's not his thing.
He's good at it. Don't ask him to do something he's not good at. And I think Petrino learned a lot about Taylen Green last year.
Yeah.
Taylen Green learned a lot about Petrino last year, and he certainly learned how to fix some of this stuff.
You see right here, Frank the Dank, who's been with us all stream, he says, I got to get off the stream. It's pissing me off. Frank, chill. All right, relax. All right. We're not doing this to make you hesitant or not optimistic about this year. There's just so much room for growth. And one of our top viewers, Alex Shirley, where are you at, first of all? Miss, you're usually here with us. I'm assuming you're busy. Absolutely love your support for the channel. What are some positives about the Razorbacks this year? I could sit here and list off a ton. I really could. But I said we just have a hard time focusing what's good. We just want to fix what's not right. But you as a coach, what are some positives you think the Razorbacks have going for them this year?
Again, I mentioned at the beginning, we have moments of brilliance. And those brilliant moments, if we can build on those and have more of those, and just like we saw, those 4th and 1s,
Yep.
those are easy fixable. Taylen, on 4th and 1, this is who you're throwing the ball to. He's wide open to it. Those are so easily fixable. So the brilliant moments are there, and the moments where we made mistakes are really, like you keep saying, easily fixable. And you never know when that 4th and 1 play is going to make the difference in the game or not.
Mhm.
We kept the ball. They didn't get the ball. We go down and score. And those happen all the time. Those 3rd and 1, 4th and 1 little mistakes we made. And we're going to fix some of those.
Yeah.
I believe in Petrino as a football coach.
Yep.
And I think he's going to have Taylen Green a lot better this year. And if you ask me, would you rather have your quarterback back or all 4 receivers back? I'll take my quarterback back every
100%.
single time. And now he ought to have, if he's not out spending that money, he ought to be in there studying that film and learning this offense backwards and forwards. Communication problems, like you talked about, are going to be less and less, to the point where he's going to look at his guy that was going to the wrong side in the backfield and go, hey, you've been wrong 5 times on this last year. This is how you go to on this. Just, and that little stuff right there. And I think that command and that confidence is going a long way. And I think we beat the over that Oakland set for us and wins.
All right. I like it. Real quick, once again, appreciate everybody hanging out on the chat. Coach Kelly, you're up to our highest viewed stream right now. We had Joe Adams in, Tyler Wilson in.
Oh, Jack.
I think people just like watching football tape, all right, and try to figure out what's going on. We
tried to make it presentable, like where they can understand, right?
Yeah, we try.
I do see why he was mad, though.
I get it.
I mean, you get pissed off watching this stuff.
You got Ty Humphreys. You're right on both messages, Brooks. He was the one who said that. Big thanks to DJ and Coach for giving us such a great insight into the game. It's been a great episode this week with Coach Kelly. It was a good choice. Enjoyed it.
Thank you. I appreciate
Coach,
that.
I appreciate you. Always a pleasure hanging out with you. And once again, if you want to hang out with us each and every Wednesday on the Buzz, we're in the zone from 10 to 1. Coach Kelly joins us. Always some great insight. And, Coach, I'll always say, we are here for an hour, and I think we talked about 6 or 7 plays.
Yeah.
That's just
you were right. We were talking about this. You gave me like 29 plays.
Yeah.
And I did them all because I thought, I don't know what he's going to pick.
Yeah.
But you're right. You could talk forever.
Yeah, we could talk forever on them. So if y'all want more insight of that, leave it in our comment section, and we could probably, if you're up for it, have you back around for another round.
Love to.
And we can break down receiving core. We can break down offensive line. We can break down running back. Defense, there's a lot of question marks on that side of the ball. We can talk about them all. Now, it's hard to review tape on a lot of these guys because they're all new. All right, so that'll be a tall task, but we'll see what we can do.
If you could have one position get dramatically better this year, what would you want it to be? Mine's easy.
Offensive line?
Offensive line?
Yeah, it's no question. And it should. It should.
I think it should too.
There was a big talent drop-off that I think we needed more guys in, but optimistic approach to that, even outside of talent. I would say half of our sacks were just mental mistakes.
Yes.
Of people
agreed.
not knowing where to go. Even if they just get in the way, it helps.
Your job.
Know your job.
You went to the wrong guy. And you called it early before the season ever started. I don't know if you remember this. You caught a little flack about it when the linemen came off practice and they're interviewed and they're singing. And then they kept saying, we got 6 guys. Everybody's like, they were coming at you. I was supporting you.
Singing songs after practice. What was
right after practice.
I couldn't believe it.
Right after
couldn't
practice.
believe it.
I'm like, hey, you guys didn't work hard enough.
It showed up.
It did show up.
Real quick, you got a message from Ebony Mitchell. Before we wrap this up, last one. Coach, with your analytical approach to football, what's one thing you do differently if you were coaching the Razorbacks this season? And where do you see the biggest opportunity on the field?
That's a great question.
What a great question.
It really is. The first thing you do in the offseason is you look at the plays that were 0 or negative plays, because those plays cut your percentages of scoring touchdowns. I mean, like they cut them into a third of what they are on a normal possession. So you take all those plays and you look, and you got to make a real unbiased effort to go, is that a bad play for us? Or did I just do a sucky job of coaching it? If it's a sucky job coaching it, then you try to fix it because you think it's a good play. But if it's a bad play and we're just not going to be good at that, you've got to be man enough to throw that out. And if you throw out the ones we don't do well and stick to the ones we do, it just sounds like it's going to be better. So I spend probably 2 months in January and February throwing out the bad plays that we've got. Some plays I love that I think are good, but you got to throw them out. I think if we do that, that's what I would do.